That was Benny's interview with Trans Studies Quarterly.
That's right, Ian Carter. So a couple things. We're going to post the Kickstarter on our Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Binary. And on the Kickstarter, you can still donate money to assist. The details of this whole interview are going to be posted on YouTube later today. It's a 36-minute interview that Ian and I engage in. And part of that really details and documents the process of getting a new journal off the ground and why specifically they selected to go with Duke University Press, which historically has been very open to queer bodies, trans bodies, all kinds of writing, and the prestige of that is very important here. As of this morning, the Kickstarter had $22,611 raised out of the $20,000 needed for this particular part of the fundraising, with 50 hours to go. So you're still all encouraged to please kick in some money if it's something that you're interested in. Now, we have, with the remaining time, as usual, a few things to hit. So take a deep breath. Because here we go. The first thing we want to talk about is last week. What did we go see in St. Louis?
We went to go see, sorry for cutting you off.
No, do it.
We went to go see Divine's documentary that,
Yes.
was in St. Louis, and we went to go see that at a university. There was also an art show going on there, but we were really excited about the Divine documentary.
Absolutely. A documentary called I Am Divine. I've been following them for a long time, so I've been waiting for this documentary for too long. And we're not saying that Divine is identified as trans or is trans, but I think trans in the broader sense of playing with or around gender or living in different types of genders, whether that's living, playing, I don't even want to set up a false dichotomy there, but all kinds of ways of being different types of genders specifically. That was Divine in so many interesting ways, and really blowing open the door about what even respectable like femininity is supposed to quote, quote, quote look like. And interestingly, Aaron and I are sitting in the theater prior to the movie, and there's this person behind us, and like we don't know if she's talking to us because Aaron and I are talking.
I think she's just talking.
She's just talking, right? She's hoping someone's going to respond, right?
Right.
And that's kind of the hilarious part. She's just kind of hoping someone's going to respond. She says something along the lines of, now mind you, nothing's going on. We're just waiting for the movie, and all of a sudden we hear, so how about that Pride moving to downtown? Anyone not like that, huh? Anyone? And both Aaron and I are just looking forward, going,
oh goodness. She actually left the show early, so I wondered if she,
oh, did she?
Yeah, she did.
Oh my.
Maybe she just wanted to spread some news. And
Maybe.
leave.
This is what's going on. Yeah, maybe she was just trying to whisper in people's ears. Shh, 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 shh.
But what she was talking about was Pride being moved downtown in St. Louis, which a lot of people were kind of generally upset about, I guess.
Yes, and we slowly learned about this. It turns out Pride this year in St. Louis, and I'm sure those of you who are from the area know this, it's now at Soldiers Memorial Park in St. Louis, which has become a much more corporate venue and venture. So in line with a lot of the more market-based prides around the country. Bigger, better is what it's basically trying. It's big pride, if you will. And this year, St. Louis, two big sponsors are Bud Light and Monsanto. So that's charming. So you can spread your pride on the Bud Light stage or the Monsanto stage, genetically modified, of course. Or we also found out that there's still an alternative community-based local pride.
Yeah, like an anti-corporate pride, you could say.
Yeah, right.
In response to this.
It's going to be Saturday, June 29th. You can find information. It's going to be in Tower Grove in St. Louis. And their website is towergrovepride.org. And certainly Aaron and I are going to be there. We're
going to be actually at both prides, really proudly donning our new t-shirts.
Our DIY t-shirts.
Our do-it-yourself t-shirts, where we're going to be really advertising this show as much as we can, which is really exciting because I think that's an opportunity to, in general, just talk to other queer folks about what we're doing in Southern Illinois here.
And hopefully look for and locate other trans or gender variant folks out there who might be interested in being interviewed, because there's a lot of artists that are going to be present, and so we're going to be looking for you to talk to. So anyways, that being said, I guess we should move into the next segment to talk about SheZOW.
SheZOW, finally, because I brought this up last week, but we weren't really able to get to talking about SheZOW. Now we're actually going to play the intro real quick. goodness. I hope that worked out. We had some trouble getting the intro.
Turns out we now know better how to use that particular part of the board here, so that works. Well, anyways, that was the intro to the new cartoon series, SheZOW.
SheZOW series. So, and there's been, since this came up, there's been controversy because it is, essentially a boy that, I guess we suppose, transforms into a girl superhero. And it's just, of course, sparked 1 million moms to kind of freak out.
Which is like 4 angry moms, apparently, and I doubt that they're even moms. But SheZOW is we did watch the first episode, which we found on YouTube. It's broadcast on Hub, and unfortunately, Aaron and I, maybe it's fortunately, we do not have television. And so we don't have access to this regularly, but we did find it.
On YouTube.
And a lot of this backlash is the idea that, oh my goodness, the main character, the little boy, his name is Guy.
Right.
Very unique name. Who becomes SheZOW, who carries on the legacy, I guess, of his superhero aunt, who was SheZOW. I guess it's a family thing. And his sister wanted to be SheZOW, but he put the ring on, so now he's stuck as SheZOW.
He just took that ring and
absolutely
shoved it right on his finger.
That's right. He's like, this is me now.
This is... Did you rhyme? Okay.
And I don't know, it's very fascinating, but a lot of the backlash is people are seeing Guy as this transsexual person, as this transgender person, all these different words, like all over the place, right? And these are from people who hadn't even seen the show yet. It was just a boy who is now a female superhero, and frankly, I think both Aaron and I were kind of actually approaching this as, okay, this could go one of two ways. It could either be like empowering femininity, or it can be like deeply misogynistic, right?
See,
like
the way I saw it right away was sort of an empowerment of femininity. Being able to be, strongly feminine and kick ass through kick butt. Sorry, through femininity, which is what I really. That's what I saw when I saw SheZOW. But of course, everyone is seeing, the transsexual, that's how it's being kind of.
Well, and interestingly, the creator of the show, the name is Obi Scott, and Obi Scott responds to all the backlash and says, quote, just based on what these are the people that have commented and media or whatnot, what they wrote, they're reading a lot into the show that's not there. Well, no, it is there because it's on the surface, and this is what we have access to.
Right.
And there's no such thing as reading into something. It means that that's what's being produced, and therefore we're able to see this as what it is. He goes on, I didn't set out to make a show about any sort of political agenda.
Oh, goodness.
Chirp, chirp. Those were the crickets. I just wanted to make a comedy. Oh, okay, because those things are mutually exclusive. Politics and comedy don't go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a cartoon that I would have liked as a kid. As if to say, cartoons are only funny but never political. That's just ridiculous. So I think people are just reading a lot into it. Always my favorite response. He goes on to write, and one of the biggest misconceptions people have about SheZOW is that Guy's body changes when he puts on the ring. It doesn't. He's still a boy, just wearing a different outfit and hair. Except she's also referred to in female pronouns. She calls her car the Shehicle. Everything is she-tacular. There's a lot of change that actually does happen here. And then he finishes, and the only ones who know that SheZOW is a boy are his sister, his friend Maz, and his supercomputer named Sheila. Everybody else thinks SheZOW is a girl. And this is interesting.
It's very interesting, especially if you want to talk about passing, all of that stuff. I think, though, reading that response, and almost in his defense, it's interesting to remain neutral, when we're faced with so much controversy, that maybe that's almost the best way to go.
But the thing that I have is that you can't be neutral in a point like this, and I think that just trying to act like as though it's not political is making it worse. I think that an interesting take on this is if he is still using female or male pronouns for himself and his sister and his friend, as they're saying, and and the supercomputer, Sheila, then it also could be that he's a boy that looks this way. It's challenging gender in some way to say maybe a boy can look like this.
There's many things to like about this show. Like, I definitely enjoyed watching it. I thought it was funny.
Absolutely.
I totally enjoyed it. I did not see it as in any way as a transsexual, trans narrative anything. It's just no way. It had nothing to do with that, and that's just not even how I perceived it as a trans woman myself. So, I definitely perceived it still as sort of that empowerment of femininity. But
absolutely.
It was, of course, a boy is doing it, so.
Well, right, and I think that one of the beauties of this is that if we take the broad term trans, crossing borders and boundaries, there's a lot of productivity in the show, too, that allows us to, like, I think, really push and think about this show as being a trans empowering space, too. Which brings us... Go ahead.
I was just going to point out, he's totally, he's straight, he's heterosexual, the character is perceived as masculine, it's just fascinating. But yeah, we are going to switch to another story here.
In the last couple minutes we have, this is a very important story that came up as well. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, beyond all the fun stuff that we were talking about, this is just another kind of sad and very unfortunate thing that happened on another radio show.
Not here.
It's called Clear Channel.
Well, Clear Channel is the one that produces it, and the show is called Lex and Terry, I believe.
Lex and Terry, right? And they, here I quote. This is kind of what they say after, a trans woman was killed by.
Well, she was just beaten up, I believe.
Okay, she wasn't killed?
I'm not sure that this particular person was.
I'm staring at the picture right now, the before and after of her, all beaten up. And this is, I quote, this is what they said on their show. There's a teen that shot a tranny after finding out that it was a man, after they had a little sexual encounter. A co-host responded, I don't blame him. I would have shot him too. That's not paraphrasing, that's exactly kind of what they said with a word that I used a little bit before. But the unfortunate thing that they're doing here is really just saying they're totally okay with what happened to her.
Absolutely, and I think that what some of the interesting things to know about this is that this is a show that is produced by Clear Channel, and it is broadcast on Sirius XM. And Sirius XM, Sirius Radio, was founded by an out transsexual trans woman whose name is on there. It starts with an R, I believe, at the very top of the article there.
Let me see.
Well, anyway.
Okay, Rothblatt, Martine Rothblatt.
Yes, that's her. So she's the one who founded this, right? And so this is broadcast on Sirius, and now Clear Channel has not, to my knowledge, still has not done anything in terms of like a public apology. There's a lot of outcry to say publicly apologize.
Lex and Terry was removed, right? They were.
I believe it was. Well, I think it was from Sirius. I believe that Clear Channel may still have contracts elsewhere, I would imagine, considering how large Clear Channel is. I'm not exactly sure though, but Sirius XM has done the work of distancing away from Lex and Terry. And so it's something that's very interesting. I read a few different responses about how an apology doesn't go far enough. And this is where I kind of am between.
I mean, they totally just encouraged trans violence pretty much, and it's pretty
absolutely. But I'm wondering,
unfortunate.
The thing that I struggle with here is that we don't want band-aid issues. We don't want to just remove. We need to engage in these types of critical discussions instead of just silencing these folks. We really need to engage in dialogues about why that's problematic.
Yeah, and
not
instead
just an
of
apology.
Just pushing them off the show, getting them hidden under the rug where the systemic problem can continue going.
Absolutely.
We kind of just brush these things under a systemic rug and pretend like they're not really happening.
Yeah.
Which doesn't, it doesn't actually change anything, unfortunately. And
yes, and and hopefully next week we'll be able to talk a little bit more about this as more details come out. But unfortunately, we've come to the end of our time. It is now 9:29 plus some seconds. Be sure to check us out on Facebook.com/Beyond the Binary. You can also email us at bthebradio@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. 91.1 FM, WDBX, community radio for Southern Illinois.